Dude.
Look how crooked that looks.
Grand unveiling. Oh, shoot. I probably can't put it on yet. I have to loop it through, don't I?
No, well, you can't loop it through unless you poke a hole through it. That's why there's clips. So,
oh.
Yeah, it just kind of clips on, adding to the cheap factor.
I can't help thinking, somewhere in the universe, there has to be something better than man. Has to be. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Ascension to 10.
Here we are.
We're back.
Back
Late.
for another one, Jad.
Week behind schedule. We had 3 in a row. Now we're 0.
We were cooking. Yeah, I thought this was it. I thought this was the end again. I didn't think we'd make it back, but here we are.
Here we are. And things might look a bit different. Hopefully they look better and more interesting. So make sure you're listening to this on our Ascension to 10 YouTube page, Ascension to 10 podcast, because boy, there's a lot going on behind us. I don't know what that is right now, but
yeah,
it's cool. Whatever's going on behind us is really cool.
Yeah, it's sweet. The other thing that's awesome is, per usual, it's not just one variable that we've changed. You're in a different location. We're using different cameras yet again.
Yep.
And we have things behind us that hopefully will add to the experience.
Hopefully. It's going to change the experience. That's for sure. Whether it's for good or bad, it's for sure going to be different.
We can't settle. You just can't give up.
Can't give up, and we're always moving forward, Spenny. Am I right?
Yeah, always
trying to get
always progressing.
So we got green screens behind us, and this is a big step up in production.
Sure,
it doesn't matter that these things cost $20, but it's a step in the right direction. We're trying to up the production value here, and
always
I don't know how to edit green screen. That's where it's going to. I don't know what this episode's going to look like, but it's going to be cool. And I was giving the boys a little pep talk. We almost got Bryan on. Hopefully he's on next episode. And I was giving the boys a pep talk, classic game 7 situation, down by the bottom of the whatever. And like,
sure,
we're going to get these green screens installed, and we're going to go from 10 subscribers to 11. And we're going to take that 11 subscribers and make it 12. And it's just going to snowball from there and go exponential.
That's right.
Spenny's setup is exploding as we speak. Maybe there's a effect going on in the background. So
we're doing it.
Anyways, we're doing it.
Yeah.
We're here.
Yep. We're recording this on Memorial Day. So congrats to everybody. You've made it to summer. I hope everyone had to get a barbecue and get to working on that tan. What else are you going to do? Jad, did you hit up a pool yet this weekend? That's typically the start of summer.
No pools. No pools. It's been a minute.
It's been a minute?
Yeah, I haven't been to a pool
Were you swimming for like a hot minute? Like, was it one of those 2 months, I'm going to swim every day? Or did you swim longer?
It was a bit longer than that. It was about a full calendar year, actually.
Oh, sweet. Okay.
This was back in 2014. So
yeah, it was a while ago.
Yeah. I still had my, chocolate vices and stuff, but I hadn't yet discovered other things to make me slow, I will say. And that was probably the most committed I'd ever been to an activity.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But good for you. It's good for you.
Yeah.
Easy on your joints.
lost access to the pool, lost free access to the pool. So what are you gonna do?
That'll
I'm not paying for that.
That'll do it. Yeah. Speaking of, did you get a parking pass yet?
No, I looked into it, and it turns out that the one area that I was interested in parking at was not available to me. And the only area that was available to me cost $35 a month, and it was like 3 blocks closer to work than where I park for free. So
so that was
your boy is not paying to park anytime soon.
Holding out. He's still a holdout.
Yeah. Still that's holding awesome. Out because that's, what, an extra 7-ish minutes, depending on cross light. What do you call that? Crosswalk traffic.
Yeah.
So
timing of the lights or crosswalks.
I think I can manage 7 minutes for $35 a month.
Yeah, I think you can do that.
So
nice.
Continue to do that.
Cool.
Spenny, I got a story for you that I've been sitting on for a minute.
Ooh,
so I've been going through off and on, but more recently, very much on this spree of selling stuff on Facebook. Now, I've previously told the story.
Interruption. Sorry. Hey, where were we?
That's fine. I don't know. And we're back. So, okay. So I've been selling stuff on Facebook. The last time I talked about a Facebook marketplace deal was when I had to be summoned to the middle of the woods, Tennessee, to sell our old busted ass audio interface that Bryan made us buy. That was definitely the most interesting story of these sales. You get a lot of these. If you do it enough, it's ridiculous. And I think I complained about this the last time too, where you post something online, people will say, is this still available? You say yes, and then they just don't even respond anymore. Like, what's the point? What is the point of asking, right? And then there's all the scammers who want to send you a code for their verification, their safety, right? And it's just an immediate scam to get your phone number and email address and stuff, right? And your Venmo accounts and whatever. So overall, I've had a lot of good luck, and it typically can sell stuff pretty fast. One of the more recent things that I've sold was a queen-sized box spring and metal frame for the box spring. So the mattress was already taken care of. We didn't have that anymore. I needed to get rid of this box spring. Post it on Facebook for $50, right? See what happens. Get someone interested the next day. All good. So she comes out and she arrives in this old, battered up, beaded farm truck looking thing. And it's long ago lost to any kind of muffler or exhaust system, right? So it's sounds like the end of the world is coming down the street. And it's like just Mad Max, just pure Mad Max out there. And she rolls up, and our house is on a bit of an incline and stuff, and so she rolls up, and I hear the truck just die outside. So didn't really think anything of it at the time. And so we get the mattress or the box spring all loaded up in the pickup part and the bed frame and all that good stuff, and no questions asked, just hands me the money and stuff. And she's trying to leave now, and I'm kind of chatting with her, and it won't start. And she's trying, it won't start at all. And she was then telling me that she just bought this thing to just run errands in and stuff, and it's just all this stuff, and the gas gauge doesn't work anymore, so she doesn't know if she has gas at all.
Oh my gosh.
And so she asked me if I had any gas. I said, I don't carry gas around, I'm fresh out.
Yeah.
And so we knocked on a couple doors, on neighbors' doors, to see if they had any gas. And I knew it was a long shot because the HOA takes care of the lawn service and stuff. So nobody needs to have lawnmowers and that kind of stuff. So I told her, but she had a gas can. So she just needed to be filled. So I said, well, okay, there's a gas station really close. I can take you there. You can fill up your gas can. So I load her up. We go to the nearest gas station, which is maybe half a mile or so.
Yeah.
And she then buys another gas can. And at this point, I'm remembering a story. So this is now a quick little aside, a story that I don't think I've shared before. Several years ago, Sarah and I went on this little camping trip. It's coincidentally the last camping trip we went on. And it was a nice weekend. We were going to spend a couple nights there. And we had Penny. And we get to the site. No issues, no worries. Pitch the tent and everything. And then we go on this hike. And it's, it's the summer in Tennessee, so it's really hot and muggy and stuff. And we take Penny on this long hike. And when we're at the basically end point of the hike, the farthest we were going to go before turning around, and it starts to kind of, clouds are rolling in, and we're starting to hear these kind of, big thunder stuff. And Penny is just afraid to death of thunderstorms. So we're a good, 3 miles away from the tent and stuff and from the car. So I'm carrying Penny back to the tent, and she weighs 70 pounds, right? So this is now like a major hike to get back to our tent. So we finally make it back, and we get to the tent. And at this point, it's now a full-on thunderstorm. And I've never been that close to lightning. It sounded like the lightning that was striking was basically the tent. It was striking the tent. That's how close and loud this thunder was. And Penny's afraid. And we're in a 2-person tent with a 70-pound golden retriever and stuff. We're crammed in. And we make this decision that, what are we doing? Let's just fucking leave, right? It's so
right.
I get Sarah and Penny in the car, and I'm tearing down the tent in the fucking thunderstorm. And so we load up. We haven't spent a single night, right? So we get the car loaded up. We go back home, and we're thinking, okay, well, that was an adventure. Nothing, no harm. It was a good story. So we get to about 30 minutes away from home. And we decide, it would be great if we could have a pizza ready when we get into town. So we order a pizza.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Have for a pickup, right? And
is it before 5:30?
No, this was late, man. And so,
okay.
Because we went away, right? We had to drive back into town. And so we get to our final interstate exit. This is, we'll get off the interstate and we're going home. And there is a car parked on the side of the road, and it's someone, like a young woman is sitting in there, and she's on her phone and stuff, and she's clearly having an issue, right, with her car.
Yeah.
Also, there was a man on a mobility scooter weaving back and forth across this exit ramp,
yeah,
right? Ton of cars just going in, and he's like yelling at everybody as they come on and go to the stoplight to get off the interstate. And he comes over to us, and he's like, couldn't understand a word he was saying. And he's pointing at the woman in the car, and we're like, okay, so she needs help, and maybe he's with her or something. And we coax it out of him that she needs gas, right? And so there happens to be a gas station just literally across the street from where this exit ramp is. So we thought, well, okay, let's just go see if they have a gas can. We can fill it up and walk it back over for hers or whatever.
Yeah.
Because this guy's going nuts on the scooter.
Yeah.
Basically still on the interstate, right? And we go to this gas station. They are fresh out of gas cans. Someone just bought the last one. And so we thought, well, what are the odds that someone just bought the last gas can when there's across the street a woman in need of gas and a literally insane man yelling at everybody he can see, right? And so we don't think anything of it. We leave. And we thought, well, it's covered. It's good, because why would anyone else need to buy a gas can at 9:30 at night, right?
Sure.
So we thought, no, it's all good. So we go and get our pizza. And on our way back, we now see this guy. So the pizza place is about 2 miles away from where that exit ramp is. On our way back, we we see this guy on the scooter going down the sidewalk, and he's going nuts again. And I don't know why, but I found a place to pull over, got out of the car, and went to go talk to him. And I said, "Hey, so did you find gas or whatever?" And he had no idea what I was talking about. I said, "For the woman back there." And he goes, "Oh, yeah. No, nobody came back and got his gas and stuff." And so we were then next to a different gas station. So I walked then to this other gas station, went in. It's now like 10 o'clock. I said, "Do you guys have any gas cans?" And he goes, "Yeah, we have one. It's like $30. I don't know if you want to buy that. It's really expensive. It's just like for a 3-gallon gas can, right? $30. So I fucking bought it.
Right.
And so I bought this gas can, fill it up with gas. This guy on the scooter is now gone again.
Of course, because he doesn't care. You're chasing down this imaginary lady that needs gas.
And so I track him down again. Keep in mind, Sarah and Penny are in the car. We've been gone for like 16 hours at this point. We've gone through setting up camp, going on this giant ass walk, super muggy, hot. Penny gets all afraid. I walk her back 3 miles, carry her. We go to the tent. It's a huge thunderstorm. I pack up the whole fucking car in the tent in the rain. We drive back home another 3 hours. Now I'm chasing down this guy on a mobility scooter with a gas can. And
oh my gosh.
I find him. Right? I find him. I flag him down again. I give it to him. He gives me no money, obviously. And at this point, I didn't expect it. But he was asking me for money. He said, "Do you have any money?" And I said, "No, I don't have any money, but here's a full gas can. A gas can plus it's full of gas," right? He said, he took it, right? We made one more pit stop at a Walgreens. And then I see him again flagging down. So on this road, there's a restaurant it's kind of fancy where it says like dress code required and stuff. And there's windows. Yeah. There's windows to the street and the sidewalk where all this was happening. And we see this guy one more time, and he's waving the gas can in the windows to the people inside. So at this point we said, no, we're done. We go home, right? We get cleaned up. It's fucking late as shit. The pizza's cold. And we get into bed, right? We give Penny a bath. And we get into bed about 12 o'clock. Sarah wakes up. Something on her back. She scratches, pulls a tick out of her back. And then it's like the whole fucking world ended. Basically, in my life, the whole world ended. Because then it's everybody up, strip the bed sheets, everything's out, everything's off.
Comb through Penny's hair.
Poor Penny. At one point, we stopped and she laid down off the trail. Poor thing had 50 plus ticks on her that we didn't see.
Oh my gosh!
When we were like in the the whole
what a mess
issue with the tent and stuff and getting home, and we didn't find any when we were giving her a bath for some reason. So really that entire rest of the night was spent washing the sheets and finding more and more ticks off of Penny. It was an insane 24 hours because we didn't sleep at all. Right?
That's crazy.
That was the last thing. That was the last time we camped. And I actually just sold that tent on Facebook.
Did you say tick free?
Tick free. Yeah. Guaranteed. But anyways, so here we are. Now I'm selling this box spring and I'm bringing this woman to the gas station to fill up a gas can. And she then buys another gas can. We go back home and she's all super embarrassed and stuff. Right. And so I felt a good vibe because I wasn't concerned about her. But then we spend, we fill up the truck with 2 gas cans worth of gas. Wouldn't start. And then I'm like directing her back down the hill so she could maybe be on a level surface, for whatever. And it took 20 minutes to get that truck started after we got the gas. So
poor girl, poor lady.
Just It's just never dull around here.
Have you ever run out of gas yourself?
Yes, I have. In Nashville, I had Penny with
Really?
me. She was
Wow.
She was a like just a puppy. We'd just gotten her, and I ran out of gas in super crazy busy intersection. This was when I had the Monte Carlo, and ran out of gas literally in the middle of the intersection, and had to get out and push the car through this fucking traffic so I could just get out to the rightmost lane, right? And then I do that, and I'm, you know, vroom, these cars driving by me and stuff. Nobody helped, and so I then found a place to park the car, and then luckily there was a gas station somewhat nearby, but I didn't have a leash for Penny, so I had to leave her in the car. Still crazy busy road and stuff. Luckily they had a gas can that I was able to buy.
They had one.
They had one, right? So yes, I have run out of gas in the worst situation possible.
Wow.
Have you?
Knock on wood. I've never run out of gas. Yeah, no. I've pushed it. You know what I mean?
Well, I had a friend in college
on zero and just rode it for like 40 miles.
I had a friend in college that I can't remember if I told this story or not, but he would fill his gas tank until he got to E, and then he would stop. That's how he just drove around town. So he would leave the car on, fill up the gas can until the needle went to E, and then he would stop pumping. And I asked him why he did this, and he said, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's just, in college, constantly stopping and getting gas, right? Well,
yeah, because you're talking about like, I don't know, between like 2 and 4 gallons, right, to get up to E, because it goes past that a little bit. But
so I don't know, man.
Interesting.
Anyways, so that happened recently, and that reminded me of the camping debacle.
Yeah.
That's just talking about gas cans.
Gas cans, man. I was going to tell you, I have an update from season 1, part 1. Okay. We technically have all but one of our windows finally done. Right. They had to come back and clean them and fix them. But they were going to replace all of them. Well, it turns out they didn't have to replace them. So they ordered every single window sash, the glass part, and then they never installed them because they learned that they didn't have to do that. They just had to use some material or chemical and like brush off all the stuff. So they wasted all this money on all these glass sashes that I don't know whose windows those are going into. And then they came back to fix the things that they learned. They didn't get it all done. So like, we'll be back. They come back again. They forgot to bring the chemicals. So they're coming back again to finish this.
Just the one remaining.
And it will officially be done. We ordered the windows in September of 2021.
Holy smokes.
And here we sit in May 2023.
It's COVID, man.
Oh, man.
That's insanity.
Yeah.
Because it was just a little bit of overspray, right? Paint overspray.
Well, yeah, it was like they sprayed it on the like. Yeah, well, it turns out like when you have a colored window, they have this film, the bristles that go all the way around the tree or around the window. They paint it before they install that, and then they paint it. So they just spray over all of this bristles that doesn't make any sense. So yeah, but now it's good. So
yikes. Well,
all right.
Should we?
I don't know, can we talk about the fact that? Yeah. Can we talk about the fact that we're not? So we are not recording the movie that we said we were going to in the last episode. Right. In the Name of the King. We're gonna have Bryan on for that one. So when we can get him back on, we'll do that one. So we had to jump a week. So if you're hearing the last episode and then jumping to this next one and wondering what, this isn't the right movie, it's because of that. So Jad picked Jupiter Ascending from 2015. Channing Tatum, Mila Kunis. It's done by what's their names? Wachowski sisters. Brothers, sisters. Now they're sisters, right?
Is this not the people that made Matrix?
It is. Yep.
Oh, I think they're brothers.
They were brothers, but now they're sisters.
Gotcha.
So there's that.
Gotcha.
I don't know. I don't know if they were sisters. I think they were sisters for this. I think.
Understood.
Anyways, so we did that one, and I gotta say, Jad,
thoughts, Spenny?
It's not that bad.
Honestly, I thought too. Kind of not that bad.
Not that bad.
It's kind of.
It was like, ooh. I don't know.
I remember. So what I'm struggling to piece together in my head is that I remember several years ago. This was on HBO or something, and I don't know, had a free afternoon or something. I turned it on. Mm-hmm. What I thought was this, and I turned it off immediately. Like 10 minutes in, I turned it off because I thought, I can't do this. This is terrible. I don't know what I watched because I don't have any memories of like watching this. I was waiting for some flashbacks for what I thought I saw previously. Mm-hmm. And so I must have watched a bootleg version or something because this was a bit goofy, but not
well,
terrible.
I think this came out. I think there was another show that came out right around that same time. I'm gonna have to check. But I was thinking the same thing. I don't know. I mean, there's some things to make fun of or dunk on for sure in this movie, but
I think
it was filmed well and had good cast. So
I think had we watched it at the time of release, maybe it would have been, what's going on here?
That's true.
This is ridiculous. Yeah. But I think
it is
having low expectations helped its case here because
also the last few movies we've watched have really been a low bar. So I think we do have some comparison bias when it comes to something that's half decent.
Especially whenever we do In the Name of the King, because holy smokes, that was the last movie I watched before this one, and
it took me like 4 or 5 sittings to watch that one.
You guys, we've watched some really some stinkers, and not to give anything away, but this was something different. That other movie, so yeah, I think anything would have been great compared to that.
Yeah.
But I think that aside from the overacting in some cases and just the goofiness of it, this was, it was pretty decent. It was.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad.
I was okay watching this.
I watched it in one sitting and I thought it was enjoyable. So it was, I mean, it is a massive budget. So it was $176 million budget and made 183 worldwide. So I mean, on paper it made money, but not including the marketing and all that other stuff. So it's,
I remember it being not well received, right? I mean, I remember it being dunked on at the time.
Yeah. Yeah. But
I will admit that I did watch this at 1.5x to kind of get through it quickly. But in some ways, I think that improved the movie.
Maybe. I don't know.
Well, do you have some? You just did some numbers. You got any tidbits for us? Extra tidbits?
Let's see. What kind of tidbits do I got for you today? I know that what's her face? Good old what's her face? Natalie Portman turned this down. She did Black Swan instead. She was originally cast to be Jupiter Jones. Mila Kunis took it. And Joseph Gordon-Levitt was up for the role that Channing Tatum did, but ultimately turned it down. This is the first 3D movie that the Wachowski sisters have ever done. And the script was over 600 pages long.
Ooh.
And they had to whittle that down because it was so long. So nothing like really intense dunkable. It's more just random factoids. Nothing. Unfortunately, there's not any like kind of cool facts on it like they found.
So how long after they made The Matrix was this?
That came out in 97, so this was 2015, so it was 18 years later.
Okay. Well, I guess I was thinking because they did a trilogy, right? So.
Oh, right. Well, let me see.
Somewhere in the mid 2000s.
Well, yeah, because when did the second one come out? Are you thinking of Cloud Atlas versus Jupiter Rising?
Maybe.
Because that
Let me see here.
is the one. They did that one as well. The Wachowski sisters.
Oh, I don't think so.
Okay. Okay. Never mind.
Okay. Next.
Let's see. I don't think I have anything else. Also, I forgot to write a synopsis on this one, so we're just gonna have to jump into this one and do it. I know.
All right.
Just blew it.
Okay.
So the whole premise of this is there is a super elite human race that basically has taken over the entire universe, and they have parceled out different sections to different people that own them. And there's these 3 siblings. Their mother passed away, and then this all got broken up among the 3 siblings. And Earth is under the control of the oldest brother. And they are basically taking humans, waiting till they max populate the planet, and then they start harvesting them to have the fountain of youth, essentially. So they just harvest these people and turn them into these little jars of goop. And that's what these super wealthy people use to stay youthful, and they're millennia of years old because of that.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah. So
it's dark.
So humans were seeded. Well, I don't know when they said in the show, but they were seeded by humans from different planets, simply to just kind of evolve at whatever rate they were going to evolve, just so that they could, max out that planet, the Earth, because Earth doesn't matter to them. It's all about the goo that they can distill from the people,
right? Yeah.
And I think they said something about in preparation for making Earth hospitable, they had to wipe out the dinosaurs. So they had to, so they did that whole thing. And then, so they could start spitballing the.
I mean, isn't it? Well, I guess population. It's a little different. It's a little different from Mission to Mars, because Mission to Mars planted just life on there, and they evolved from dinosaurs to humans. This one, they had dinosaurs were there, and they're just like, let's wipe them out, and then we'll repopulate with humans.
So you realize that then there's the whole universe, galaxy, whatever. There's different aliens and stuff, and they kind of went, I would say, maybe a Star Wars approach to aliens, where they just kind of went hog wild and just went whatever. There's the whole reptilia, dragon people or something, and then they just kind of went nuts with the different kinds of aliens concepts and stuff.
Yeah, there's like the like rat guy that's like the the hand
the
to the prince.
And then there's, I don't know, like an elephant person or something, and all he does is just squawk through his trunk thing. That's his one means of communication. Like exactly bug people or whatever, I don't know. But there's this whole society, and it seems like humans are kind of in control of everything, or at least they're a major player. But you realize that there's this whole kind of centralized government system that oversees at least the galaxy's functions and all the planets and stuff and who owns what and whatever. And it's very much a bureaucratic type operation. And
they did a really good job of kind of demonstrating bureaucracy. As Mila Kunis's character is actually, you learn that she is actually like the heir to Earth. Like she owns Earth essentially because of her genetics, like their reincarnation of the mother of these three kids that kind of took over everything. And she's trying to get her certificate of, you know, authenticity
queenship
of being the queen for Earth, and she has to go to like 15 different places, and finally it's, you know, paying one of the guys off is how they do it. And she's being escorted by this android who like is almost losing his mind to the point because it's like he just keeps running all over the place. And she's like finally just pays him off and moves on. So pretty good.
So Mila Kunis, the main character, she is otherwise or completely ordinary person, right? She's human like everybody else, and these humans out in space are humans. The only difference is that they have this goo that they can take a bath in and live off that for millennia. And because there's literally nothing special about Mila Kunis, it's simply the odds of, because there's so many humans around the universe, and because humans can live for so long, it's just the probability that the exact genetic code of, or the exact genetic sequence would reappear for the mom that was the matriarch of this particular family. And so it just happened to be Mila Kunis in Chicago, who was cleaning toilets and stuff. And I don't know, there's a lot of goofy stuff, chief among which I think is Channing Tatum's little hover boots.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, literal subway surfer around Earth, around space, around spaceships, everywhere. He activates these hover boots and he is just rollerblading everywhere.
Just rollerblading.
And the first time you see
it's so ridiculous because it looks, his boots levitate automatically when he turns them on. So you'd think he'd have like the control to like just fly up or take off or whatever. But no, it's like they lift up to levitate, but to actually move, he has to
like Nordic track around. But the first time you see it, though, he levitates half an inch above the ground, right?
I know.
In preparations for getting mugged or something, right? Or getting in a fight. And I'm thinking, like, what's that going to do? Why be an inch taller, right?
Yeah.
But the first thing you see him do actually is he's kind of skulking around the back alleys of Chicago, right?
Yeah.
You don't know what he's doing. He's got his hood up and stuff. And keep in mind, he's some kind of elf wolf thing, right? He's not
basically
human.
Like a dog. He's like a dog boy, right?
Yeah, but with elf ears.
With elf ears.
And the first thing you see him do is he walks up to this closed, locked door in an alley, and he puts this little device on the door that makes a four-dimensional portal so that he can step through the door.
Yeah.
So he's like ripping apart space and time to step through a door, a physical, literal door, when he can just walk through the door. And then, you know, it's
he does.
like,
I mean, he is. It was cool.
And,
so he's on a hunt to find Mila Kunis. Like he was hired to find her. But it was cool that like he was looking at these records and he could like sense or smell through the paper or whatever that like who she was. Like he could like have visuals of who she was and stuff. I thought that was interesting.
Okay, totally missed that.
That was a huge note.
Cool thing to miss.
Yeah. So, his name was Kane. So Kane Wise. Kane Wise.
You guys have a dog that was named Kane? A black lab, right?
Yeah.
Or Brown Lab?
Newfoundland Lab mix.
Newfoundland.
Yeah, that was nice. Yeah, it was one of our
Kane.
favorite dogs. He was super sweet.
Good boy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Love that
so
dog.
meanwhile, Mila Kunis is trying to make money because she's a daughter of Russian immigrants fleeing from her father was killed. Which, by the way, the father was an astronomer that taught at a university who met her mother, who also taught at the university.
Yep.
And as the story goes, and it was portrayed, the dad set up his telescope just in the middle of like a staircase and a bridge or something. And at night,
freezing to death.
Yeah, and checking out the stars and stuff.
Yeah.
And the mom walks up and says, "What are you doing?" And I thought that was just a bit strange because it's obvious what he's doing, right?
Looking at stars.
Looking at stars, and she's in a neighboring department of his at the same university. And it's like, it's obvious what I'm doing.
Well,
right?
maybe he had just started. Who knows? They didn't give you the timeline on that. So, right.
But so he dies, and they go to America and stuff, and they find some other Russian family members or something, and they're just trying to scrape by because life's tough, right? Life is tough out there, and they're cleaning service, and they're up, and she's cleaning everybody else's stuff that she wished she had, right? She's cleaning the homes of the lives that she wished she had. And so she's trying to make extra money by selling her eggs, right? And this whole scheme of hers was with her cousin. And there's this line where the cousin, who's just super lazy, right, is just wanting money quickly.
Right.
They work out this deal. Apparently, to sell her eggs is $15,000, right? And the deal is the cousin is going to get $10,000 and she's going to get $5,000. And
that's capitalism, baby.
She asked him why that was, and he said, "It's capitalism, baby. Shit rolls downhill, profits roll up." So he's just
what a line.
And her eggs shit, right? Just calling her eggs shit to her face.
Jeez Louise. Yeah.
Anyways, he's not important at all to this story, but
no. He buys an Xbox and a big screen TV thinking he's going to get money. And she ends up not getting her eggs because aliens show up when she's getting ready to have her eggs harvested. Then here comes Kane, just lighting people up with his boots, with his hover boots on, just blasting around the operating room.
Yep.
Using his teleport. That's pretty sweet.
So he rescues her because the oldest son of this matriarch who owns Earth got wind of the reincarnation of his mom, who I guess would reinstate her ownership of Earth and everything else, right?
Yeah, her reign. Yep.
And so the son tried to kill or get her killed, right? So that his ownership wouldn't be questioned. But the other son hired Kane to save her, unbeknownst to the brother.
Mm-hmm.
And so he saves her, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And then they narrowly escape, and, Chicago's destroyed in the process. And he's just hover booting around the entire city at this point. It started with him hovering an inch off the ground, and then him literally flying, like roller skating through the sky and stuff and whatever.
He's like carrying Mila Kunis while he's hovering.
Yeah.
Like she's by one hand. Like he grabs her hand with his hand and is just hover booting around.
Yeah. And so the shit did not go to plan, right? And so they had to find help somewhere. And it turns out there's this other kind of elf dog person around the city or something, and they go to him for help. And he lives out in a corn farm.
Cornfield.
Corn farmer. Yeah, I don't know. And so then there's these other people sneaking around, right? So there's these people creeping
bounty
through
hunters,
the corn stalks,
right?
Bounty hunters. You don't know who they're working for. They're just like creeping. And then the camera pans up and it's this alien on a fucking hover bike above the corn, completely visible.
Yeah. Well,
She's
everybody
with
else is
them.
in the corn and she's just levitating.
She's just levitating in the sky, right above the corn, completely visible. She's giving everybody away.
Awesome.
And then it turns out that they were hired by the sister, now the last child of the matriarch.
Yeah, so all three have hired someone to basically hunt this lady down. One's to kill, one's to capture, and the other one is to, I don't know,
just help out, I guess.
I guess see her mom again.
Yeah. She seems like she has malintentions, right? But as it turns out, unless there was some other movie planned, she was just kind of helping out. Her whole point was just to help out her mom, or the reincarnation of her mom. So that's where she ends up going, and then she, learns about all the space junk that's going on and stuff, and that there's aliens, and also
that's when you learn about the goop.
Yeah, but not where it comes from.
Oh, right? Yeah. Sorry.
She learns that there's goop to make last a long time, but she doesn't know where it came from. But then the space cops or whatever show up, and they take her to the DMV, and she gets her queen status and instated. But then somehow she ends up with the brother.
Yeah, the brother.
They get married or something.
They're about to get married, and this is where they have to battle through the Warhammers. Is that what they're called?
I think so, yeah.
So Channing Tatum and this other guy are basically in these robot ships where it's like your body just squeezes in and it has wings.
Yeah.
And they're basically going through totally Matrix, right? When all of the what else called?
Like the mech armor or the Sentinels.
Yeah. They come through and they come flying into the base and they're just unloading their machine guns. It was that same kind of visual of them shooting through and trying to weave through this swarm. And eventually Shannon gets through, and right before she gets married to the brother, rescues her, and then they go and they have to the whole premise is that the older brother has been scheming this whole time while he knows that she's trying to get her queenship back on how he can kill her, right? And so he knows he has to get leverage, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's where he comes back to Earth takes her family and takes them to his ship in Jupiter. It's in actual town or planet of Jupiter.
Space station in Jupiter, right?
Yeah.
So, okay, the original timeline was that she died, the mom died, and her assets were divided between her kids, right?
Right.
So the oldest brother got Earth, and he's looking at a fat paycheck right now, right? Because the Earth is ready for harvest. A bunch of fatties down on Earth, and he's ready to get that goo, and he doesn't want his plans to be ruined, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so he killed her the first time around because he was her heir. But what I don't understand is why not just kill her again? Because wouldn't the same system be in place?
Well, I think he's trying to kill her. I mean, I think his ultimate goal is to kill her, but there's some sort of due process in how you do it.
You get back into her will. And so she's got to sign the tablet or whatever.
She had to sign the tablet first before he could kill her, basically. I don't know.
But the brother, his whole plan was to marry his mom reincarnated so that he would get, in on all that. And then he was going to kill her so that what's yours is mine, baby. And so that was his scheme. I guess the sister, she was just helping out. But
I guess
she
kind of just was. She was not in the movie anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then this whole time, the space cops were helping out for some reason, right? They had no skin in the game at all.
Yeah.
And what I found interesting was that according to them, so they made it seem like the space cops were the good guys, right? Because they were helping out, preventing the queen from getting assassinated, right? But they were just chill with all this planet harvesting, right? They didn't care. The whole government, I guess, operated on this system of goods and services that resulted from hundreds of thousands of years worth of planetary evolution and then genocide, complete planetary genocide, just for some goo. And
well, they know who pays their bills, right?
With it.
That's what it boiled down to.
Yeah. So it was just kind of weird that
they
were all good with this. Earth was going to get sacked no matter what, right? Because that payday was going to come no matter who owned it. But I guess they liked the queen better. I don't know. The last thing I thought was funny was that at one point, I can't remember what space station that was in, but there were these guards that were, I don't know if they were robots or if they were humanoid or whatever, but their arms were machine guns. But the arm ended right here. The arm ended just past their elbow, right? So they could bend the elbow about 2 inches, or they had 2 inches worth of extra arm. That was the muzzle of the machine guns.
Right.
So were these things good for literally nothing else other than walking around? Like, they can't open doors. They can't do anything other than shoot out of their elbows.
That's awesome, boy. Yeah. That's hilarious. Yep. I guess so. I don't know. I mean, that's it. I don't know. It's one of those things like the boots was really entertaining because it was just ridiculous. But like, this was the movie itself, like the way it was done visually, the way the cast was and stuff, like it wasn't that bad. Like I don't get why people were tearing it apart. I mean, maybe we're a few years removed from it, so like you said.
Yeah, I think that maybe it was had we watched it at the time expecting something Matrix like from the Wachowskis, right? And getting that, then it would have been, what is this?
Yeah. I mean, you definitely saw elements of Matrix. But I think they did a good job of not just, leaning into that too hard. So it was pretty good.
Yeah, I enjoyed it for once.
All right. Yeah.
So that being said, this is the Ascension to 10 podcast. We rate movies on an 11-point scale, Ascension being the worst thing you've ever seen, 10 being the best thing you've ever seen. Spending what you got here.
I'm going to give this a 5.3.
Okay.
I thought
that's a good score.
Pretty entertaining, but I don't think it's quite bright. It's not quite bright level, but it was.
No.
It was good. Yeah.
So we both gave Bright a 5.8 for reference. And I'm right there with you. I think I actually kind of gave it a 5.5, believe it or not.
Okay.
So.
Okay.
Interesting.
It's close.
Yep.
Interesting.
If our next episode is not in the name of the king, Spenny, do you have something in the pipe for what we're gonna watch?
Yeah. Let's see here. I think we may need to watch Robot Jocks.
Robot Jocks. What is that?
You ever watch that? You ever heard of it?
Mm-mm.
Oh, well, you're in for a treat.
Sounds
watch
good.
Robot Jocks.
All right.
We're doing it. So that'll be the next episode, unless In the Name of the King is on and Bryan is on, and we'll have a wonderful time with that episode.
Yep.
As always, you guys can find us on our socials, Ascension 2 TEN, on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. The Ascension 210 podcast channel on YouTube, and ascension210.com is our website. Email us, boys, at Ascension210, if you have any recommendations or if you have any funny stories that you'd like to share.
Typical days.
And I think the only thing I want to say is, Jad, we've been watching Silo, and I think we're on episode 5 now. If you're listening to this now, through the first 3, I think we were really enjoying ourselves. 4, we decided was a turd episode.
Yeah,
but
just kind of a mid-season
5 picked up.
story building kind of thing.
But 5 picked up, and it's been kind of interesting. So
been really
I'm intrigued.
Good. Yep.
Continues to be kind of a onion where there's just keeps getting more and more layers.
Yep.
So you kind of got to learn a little bit about what judicial does, and it's just kind of this ominous like legal faction that kind of runs the silo, but
from
like
the
there's
shadows.
still a sheriff and stuff, and they're still kind of like run what he does, or she does now. But it's interesting. So definitely recommend it.
It's good. Would recommend for sure. Happy to have something like that on the airwaves.
We went and saw, not sci-fi at all, but we saw the new Little Mermaid this weekend.
Nice.
I can't say it's as good as the original because you can't beat an original. I am getting a little tired of all these Disney shows being turned into live action. I can't just enjoy the originals, but here nor there. Visually, like, very good movie. Liked it a lot. Still not as good as the original, but still decently entertaining for kids. So,
all right, you heard it here.
Alrighty,
it's decent.
Well,
all right.
Anything else, Jad?
That's it for me.
All right, he's Jad. I'm Spenny. Talk to you soon.
See ya.
Bye.
Welcome to Ascension the 10.